Hi guys, I hope you're okay. So today I'm here with a new video with Karen David. Karen is everywhere. You can see her in Galavant, in Legacies, in Once Upon a Time where she's playing the princess from a whole new world, Jasmine, or recently in Fear the Walking Dead. In this interview, we're talking about the elections, our own show Tea with Karen, our dreams and why it's so important to follow them. So get your cup of tea or coffee or whatever you like and come spend some time with us. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
How are you?
I'm great and you?
I should be saying comment ça va, right?
Ça va et vous?
See, when you say it, it sounds so much more beautiful and lyrical. And when I try to speak whatever French that I remember from school, it sounds very rusty.
Oh, no, that's okay.
How are
So
you? Is it Jean or is it Jean? Which do you prefer?
it's Jean.
Jean. I like
Yeah.
Jean too. So let's Jean. I'm now making sure that this doesn't glow too much. Is that better or do you need
It's better when with the
up?
yeah,
Okay, let me see if it's not too. Maybe that's better. Is that better?
yeah. Is it better?
Okay,
It's
love.
better. So
Hi.
how are you dealing with the stress of the elections?
You know, uh, and thank you for asking. It's a bit of an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah,
Um, there's a lot of things that we already knew, but at the same time, a lot of hard truths. And it has me reflecting and thinking very deeply about just how sad I am that we live in such a divided country.
yeah,
And when I don't normally talk about politics on social media at all, but circumstances being the way they are, uh, I have to speak up. And you get mixed reactions from people because
yeah,
people, oh, you're a celebrity, you're an actor, how dare you? And my response to that is, well, my mama brought me up and told me that we all eat, sleep, and poop the same. So my voice is just as important as your voice. And I think the focus, this microscopic lens, has got to be focused now on how divided the country is, the world is. And it's almost like, and I don't want to belittle that, the graveness and the importance of that, to marriage. But if I've learned anything from marriage, it's about compromise. And sometimes you have to learn to agree to disagree. And I just feel like now something's got to give. There may be so many things that we don't agree on, but we have to meet each other halfway. Because to see how close the votes have been coming in, when I thought it would be a landslide victory for Democrats, um, it just, whilst I'm glad and happy that things are leaning to fairness and
yeah,
democracy, because I tell my followers that, look, yes, I don't speak normally about politics on social media, but this isn't about two parties versus each other. This is about one person who is putting this country at grave risk of autocracy. And that's where I have to speak up because that's not right. I have a lot of dear Republican friends who do not believe in what this one person is trying to do or what he is doing. So it's not about, for me, it's not about these parties, it's just about this one person. and
yeah,
and and that is why we can't sit back and just watch, because we set the examples for my nephews, for our children, our grandchildren. We set that example. They're going to look back at this moment and say, why didn't you do more? Or what did you do in that moment? So I can't vote because I'm not an American citizen, but I can research both parties to fully understand where both sides are coming from. And then I can donate, I can spread the good word because what I believe in is human decency. What I believe in is racial equality, in gender equality, in inclusivity, LGBTQ. My transgender brothers and sisters. I want, for their rights. It's like I want inclusivity, not exclusivity. I want diverse. I want to celebrate diversity. I want to celebrate universal health care where people can have health care. That's what I believe in. So,
Yeah.
I support whoever supports those things. Look, no politician, my dad's always told me this from a young age, no politician is going to be perfect.
No, that's true.
None of them are. And if you're expecting perfection, oh boy, you're going to be really disappointed. But you have to vote for the one that's closest to your values and your beliefs. And even though some of the beliefs and values of, I won't even say his name, of the man that's leading this country at the moment is questionable, and the facts speak for themselves, uh, I still have to listen. I have to listen to those that support him because no matter what, they're going to continue supporting him. And my heart breaks because that man is so lucky to have the support of all these people.
Yeah.
Love him.
You know,
You know,
nobody understands it in the entire world. I mean, all my friends are who are from Europe. We all, why the, what the fuck is wrong with Americans?
you know, it's um it's half and half. It's a very divided country, and there are
Yeah.
good Americans. I mean, there's so many. I have so much to be thankful to this country. I'm not American, but they welcomed me with open arms. They've given me opportunities beyond my wildest dreams, as far as my career goes. And I am so, so grateful to this country for all those opportunities. That's the America I know. That's the America that I believe in. The one where everyone lives in a democracy where there's freedom, there's encouragement, there's support, there's camaraderie, there's community, inclusiveness. That's the one that I was welcomed. That's the country I
Yeah.
was welcomed to. And for the past 4 years, I have not recognized this country at all. But at the same time, it highlights these areas that need to be addressed so that we can help alleviate this divisiveness. And that's going to take time and a lot of
Yeah.
patience, 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 patience in every one of our parts. And I think this is quite what's happening here in America is quite reflective of a lot of divisiveness around the world. And I think I hope that what we can take from all of this is to raise our empathy and our compassion and and patience again with we're not going to agree all the time, and there's going to be buttings of heads, but let there be respect and dignity, respect for each other's differences, as painful and hard as that might be. But we have to start somewhere. We have to start somewhere in trying to heal a lot of wounds. And the only way we can do that is by further um, bringing awareness so people understand, you know, why this is right and why this is wrong. Um, and that's on us. So I just, I pray for peace. That's what I pray. I pray for a peaceful transition.
Are you kind of afraid of what's come next? Whoever wins?
You
Because the country is very divided. So,
I think if this was me, you know, when I was 20 or so, when I didn't have as much life experience as I do now, and I'm still learning, I would have been afraid. I can't be afraid. Fear is understandable, completely understandable why a part of us feels that fear. But if I've learned anything about fear, is that fear is only as big as you make it. And right now we are at a crossroads where we are being challenged to the core, where we are being tested of our stamina, our emotional stamina, being tested uh, with what's important to us, and how much are we willing to fight the good fight. Um, I feel on a positive note that there is this great shift happening, that this wave is shifting, and that we're seeing more people speaking up and having the courage to speak up, and that's changed. And it excites me when I see my nephews already being so much more aware than even I was of politics and what's happening, when I was their age. And that gives me hope and faith for the future. Um, to see kids talking openly about climate change and wanting,
Yeah,
it just, it warms my heart, because I feel like that the future is bright if we invest in our children, our grandchildren, in our younger brothers and sisters. This is where your investment's going to pay off, by educating them and encouraging them to have these open, sensitive, and sometimes difficult conversations. But we're having those conversations now more than ever. And that excites me. And I have to hold on to hope. Where there's hope, there will always be possibility. And
that's
when there's
true.
possibility, where there's possibility, I feel like it's a domino effect. When you start creating from the nucleus within our hearts and our souls of this positivity, this positive energy, it's like a domino effect. And I hope everyone realizes just how powerful their voice is. We often think that I am just one person, a drop of water in this vast ocean. But the point is, it takes many drops of water to form this ocean. And so every voice is so important and valid. And I think we need to encourage each other even more to speak out, to call each other out on gaslighting, to call each other out on racism, to call each other out on prejudices. It's that time, and the way we call it out is through patience, compassion, and understanding and firmness. We don't have to do it in ugly ways. We need to rise above this whole thing about, there are some people that set the example of fighting back with anger, and negativity, and trying to, like, pull people down. And that's not what this is about. We have to sort of butt heads in a good way. Let us have these open conversations with dignity and respect. And that's where I think we're going to start seeing change. But like I said, it's going to take a lot out of each and every one of us. But know that every every effort that we make in trying to help each other is going to go a long way. And I feel like, my dad says, the older generation, he said they're the ones that are really tied up in these old ways of thinking. It's what they were brought up on. But like I said, us, younger
Yeah,
generation, I mean, it's changing. I can see that, and it's changing for the better. So yeah, I hold on to hope, and
and a lot of patience.
yeah, a lot of patience.
So, since quarantine, I've started this channel because I wanted to entertain people, to learn by myself some things, And during the same time, you started your own show called Tea with Karen. Why did you decide to do that? What were your motivations?
So with Tea with Karen, it came about at the start of the pandemic. And I think it's safe to say many of us at the start of the pandemic, I think that's when anxiety was really high because none of us came through a pandemic and there was so much uncertainty and not knowing what tomorrow was going to bring. I think just the newness of it. And a lot of us, even myself, I have to admit, I was in shock. I thought this has to be a really bad dream and I'm going to wake up and everything's going to be fine. Of course, that wasn't the case. And I found myself twiddling my thumbs, sitting down, thinking, right, we have a choice to make. And there's no wrong answer. And that's what I've been wanting to promote through Tea with Karen, that there is no judgment. There are no wrong answers about how we navigate through uncertainty and the unknown because it's tough. It's really tough. And like I said, it's challenging us to the core. So we have to be very patient with ourselves. We have to be very forgiving. We have to love ourselves a little bit more even during this uncertainty and be really patient with ourselves because we are going through this emotional roller coaster of uncertainty. And I decided, well, I have a choice. I can sit and worry, 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 or I can accept those feelings that I'm feeling, acknowledge them, give them love, and then let go, and then figure out what I can do to make myself feel safe and feel happy. So I thought, okay, what can I do? What can I do? And I started seeing on my social media pages a lot of people were feeling the same as I was, scared or fearful sometimes. Some people were suffering through early onset depression, and that worried me because I read several reports, several articles about how the rise of PTSD or depression, anxiety cases were rising, especially with young people. And that made me really sad. And I said, what we need is to support each other and to let each other know that we're not alone in how we feel and that everything you are feeling is valid. But you have a choice now to deal with it and speak up and talk to people who you love, who you respect, either your teachers, your mentors, your family, your friends, because what chances are you'll realize that we're all going through the same thing. And I just feel that the more we talk about it, we kind of feel that we're on this journey together. So that's when I thought, well, let me start. If I can give back in some way and let them know. What's one thing I really love? I love drinking tea. Tea.
I have one too. It's the turkey in France. But I broke the hat.
Love it. So I love drinking tea, and I saw an article from the Walking Dead universe, and they were talking about how different actors from the universe, if they had a show, what they would do. And one mentioned that, well, if Karen had a show, maybe it would be called Happy Hour because they feel that when they spend an hour with me, they are happy. And that made me, I was so honored that I can make
Yeah.
people feel happy and feel good about themselves. And I thought, well, okay, but if anyone knows me, happy hour is kind of connected to like cocktails and wine. And anyone who knows me knows that I am such a cheap date. It literally only takes half a glass and I'm tipsy. So I
Same.
don't drink that much. So I thought good for happy hour. Maybe I've got to change the name to it. And that's when I realized I love tea. How about I invite someone to have tea with Karen? And I was like, oh, I said, there's a title. And this all came to me at like 3 o'clock in the morning when I couldn't sleep in that first month. And I started writing down all the names of people in my life who I find so inspiring, who are amazing human beings doing such wonderful, good things out there to make this world a better place. And when I stepped away from it, I showed my husband and I talked to my manager and I said, oh my gosh, I've got 10 pages front and back of so many people. And guess what? A lot of them happen to be quite famous. And I said, I wonder if I can get them to come on and have a cup of tea with me And it's like two good friends catching up over a cup of tea with a lot of people watching, but also to show support to everyone watching that they're not alone, that we're in the same boat navigating through this pandemic. And that, if they have any questions, that they want to ask, it could be about anything, but just an hour that can bring lightness, that can bring joy, that can make them
Yeah.
feel good about themselves and give them hope and strength and persistence to keep to keep going. It's like cheering them on because I've been so lucky on all my social media pages to have such a loving, supportive fan base and the kindest human beings who are always cheering me on every single day. So if I could find a dear friend and we could cheer everyone watching on, to live their best lives, because I want everyone to know that they deserve amazing things, that they deserve happiness, that they deserve all their dreams to come true. If I could make them, really believe in that, especially during these tough times, then I think then we're hopefully, spreading joy and spreading
Yeah.
energy. So that's where kind of a long story is that's where Tea with
Yeah.
Karen came up. So yeah.
I'm feeling the same way. I don't care about followers or likes or all that stuff. The only thing I care about is the comments and
Yeah.
people were all telling me that I'm just putting a smile on their face during this hard time. Just it's everything. So
Yeah.
that's why I started to.
Which is wonderful because I feel like I said, each and every one of our voices is so important. And
Yeah.
the more joy we can spread, the more support and encouragement that we can spread, that makes a difference. That makes the world a better place.
So you are everywhere. I mean, we can see you in Galavant, Legacies, Once Upon a Time, Field Walking Dead, and those are all famous show. But I guess as it's not an easy path, you had multiple times when you had moments of doubt, multiple times when you were just staring at the phone, and I wonder where did you find that strength to pursue your dream and keep believing?
That's such a good question. Uh, I was very blessed to have such an incredible family who are so normal, very grounded, very humble, that taught me the value of hard work, the value of kindness and persistence, the value of being a team player, the value of gratitude. And trust me, there were moments growing up where I'd be like, what? Your parents, you always question your parents. And it's only as you get older or when you move away from home that you begin to realize, oh, mom and dad were actually right about a few things, about a lot of things. So I'm really grateful that I had parents that were so encouraging and supportive. And my mom always says that it was easy for them to be supportive and encouraging because they saw that I took the initiative, that I walked the walk. I let my actions speak for themselves. And I think it goes for anyone when you have a passion to do something, whatever it may be, you'll just do it. Because I often get asked, how did you get started? And I said, well, I didn't have any connections in entertainment or Hollywood or anything like that. I come from a very normal family of bankers. So I was the black sheep in the family. They all had a passion and love for the arts, but never had the opportunities to pursue it. And especially being immigrants, newly immigrated, they couldn't afford to take time off work to, come to auditions with me as a child or anything like that. So a lot of it came from me. But like I said, when you have a passion and a dream that is so genuine and so real, you just do it. Things just happen because you make it happen. And that's what I did. My parents kind of were just like my wonderful cheerleaders that would always tell the truth and never sugarcoat anything, that kept things real. but at the same time, supportive and encouraging. And my father always said that no dream is too big or small, and that if that's your dream and that makes you happy and that's your calling, then you have to go do it. I I hope that this pandemic has been a reminder to all of us about the fragility of life and how precious life is and how short life is. And life is
Yeah.
too short to not follow your passions. Life is too short to not do things that bring you joy. And I think the minute that you you realize that you deserve happiness and joy, that's when miracles happen. That's when amazing things start to happen, and everything starts to fall into place. So that's been my drive and my strength to get me through the thousands of rejections. And trust me, there were many, and they hurt like hell. And there were so many moments when I would look up, to whatever, whoever was out there, call it God, universe, Mother Nature, anything, anyone who was listening. There'd be several times where I'd ask, oh my gosh, what am I doing with my life? Am I doing the right thing? Am I crazy? Should I go back to school? Should I give up? Is this it? Because reality kicks in and we got bills to pay. And, there were times, especially when you're starting out as a student out of drama college, broke drama college student, newly graduated, debts to pay for your college university fees, and you're just wondering, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? Um, and trust me, especially, for me, I love to plan things. I love to keep organized, but
Yeah,
I
same.
learn very quickly that in this line of work, in the creative world, you have to let go. You have to let go, and you have to trust that everything will fall into place. And the one thing that you can do is just focus on the things that are within your control. And that is your creativity. That is your drive. And I had a mentor that told me in school that if you do one thing for yourself every day, and one thing to bring you one step closer to your dream coming true. It could be big or small, doesn't matter, but one thing every day, you're going to feel good about yourself. You're going to feel proactive, because at the end of this journey, you want to be able to look back and say, I tried. I gave it my best shot. And that's all that matters, is that you did try and that you did give it your all. Um, and that's success. We learn so much. Success, I've learned now, is learning from those times that we've fallen, those times that we failed. And failure is, we often attach negativity to failure, but failure is an opportunity. If we flip, we all have the power to choose how we react to things. And if we look at failure, so there's failure right in my hand right there, and I'm looking at failure, I have the choice to say, okay, where did I go wrong? What have I learned from this? How do I make sure that this doesn't happen again? And I feel like I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I had that lesson, because that's going to allow me to grow. Failure
Yeah,
is you. It's an opportunity for you to pick yourself up and show just how strong you are, because we all are strong and resilient. We're all survivors. And if we need help, it's okay to ask for help. And that's one thing I also want, my fans to know, is that it's okay to ask for help. If you're having a really tough day and you can't get out of this hole, this rut, it's okay to talk to someone about it, and maybe they can help you, because that's empowerment. That's self-love. That's
yeah,
loving. And that's just as important, if not more important, is knowing that by asking for help, you are showing yourself that you love yourself. So and that takes a lot of courage and strength. So I'm constantly learning. Every day I'm learning. We're all learning every day. We're all learning, we're thriving, we're growing, and I think that's something that's, we should be excited about. But you know, I always remember why I started. My mom always told me, remember why you started. And for me, it was when I was a little girl and I was bitten by that bug when my older sister, um, she sat me down and she was massively in love with Grease and Xanadu and Olivia Newton-John. And so when I saw those movies, I was like, wow, this is so cool. And um, that's when I knew from that age when I was 6 years old, I just knew that I wanted to sing and I wanted to act. And I remember that feeling. And it feels like yesterday. And that's that feeling that got me through all the twists and turns and the ups and downs and everything. I go back. So when I have those moments of panic, I quickly take myself to that 6 year old child. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's why I wanted to do this because I love doing it.
Yeah, and you say how far you've come uh, to who you are today. And one thing I like to say to myself is sometimes we have to get lost to find our right way, and it's something that's really motivate me to when I fail, because we have to fail to learn, like you said, and 100% agree with that.
Sometimes when we get lost along the way, we find something that we never would have found. And when,
Yes,
wait, that's actually going to help me to get to where I need to go. So this slight detour, you know,
yes.
moment of trying to find ourselves,
You
it can
know,
be.
I'm not happy because I'm not happy with COVID, but um, at the beginning, I started this channel to post some vlogs of me going to Comic Cons with my boyfriend. And then COVID happened and all the Comic Cons were cancelled. So I was wondering, gosh, what am I going to do? And so I started to try interviews, and that's the story of all of this began, and I'm kind of proud of it. Uh, and so yeah, I was pissed at the beginning, and now I'm like, this is even better. You know, it's it's kind of silly because this is not a good year for everybody. But yeah,
When I was looking on your profile and everything, you've interviewed so many wonderful people, you know?
yeah,
And oh, see, Milo's jealous now that you're not interviewing him. I'm hoping every time the mailman comes, slight digression, my dog goes crazy. Thank you. My husband just went to go grab him. Otherwise, he's going to be barking nonstop. So, je suis désolée.
no worries.
But I was looking at your profile, and yes, you absolutely should be so proud because that's a testament to you that you embraced this moment, a very difficult moment, and you thought, what can I do? And you did something that brought you joy, that makes you happy, that you love to do. And so you're doing it. Here we are. Because you study journalism, right? You're a journalist.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I studied journalism and radio and TV for 2 years before I went to drama college. And because I thought I had wanted to be a journalist, but my calling for my music and my singing and everything was drowning out that other thing. So I thought, okay, I'll go do that. But I am cheering you on in your journey because I have so many dear friends from journalism school who are journalists now doing all, and I'm getting all the latest, updates before they they break out into the news. But it's an exciting journey you're on too.
So speaking of journalism, you did a lot of interviews in your career. so often the same question that I bet this one isn't different, but just put the shoes of a journalist. If you could ask a question to yourself, what would it be? I mean, what do you want people to know about you?
You know, that the scarier the question to myself, the better. And I'm not going to lie, like, talking about politics on social media is really out of my comfort zone. Um, Only because I think culturally I've been brought up um, to be very respectful of people's choices. Everyone has everyone has their right to their choice and their beliefs, whether you agree or disagree with them. So that was that, and it's been a tough one for me because I want to promote inclusivity on all my social media pages, even though some of my fans might not agree with me politically. I still want to include them. I don't want, because like I said, you have to start somewhere where you can have both parties at the table. And I think, if I can help in any small way that I can, where we can have peaceful conversations and respectful conversations with each other, then that's something that's really important to me. So that's been a big leap for me, and my fans know that I usually don't talk politics on social media, but circumstances and the times call for this. That I need to speak up, and that we can't be silent on important issues like racism, systemic racism, um, inequality, inclusivity. It's all these things are so important. We have to speak up. Um, and I think that's one of the big questions that I had to ask myself recently was, are you just going to sit there being quiet, or are you going to speak up and try to speak in a respectful, dignified manner on a very sensitive and uncomfortable subject? So that was a big question for me. It was a very scary question. But I feel that more people are having these open conversations, as difficult as they are. So I thought, well, if they can do it, I can do it too. And I've got to do that. This is when we have the power to put social media to good use.
Yes.
Um, where we can, and that's another question. Several questions I ask myself is what do I want my social media platforms to represent? What do I want them to represent? It can't be just about one thing, one thing, one thing, one thing, one thing. It's I think the way I can justify spending as much time as I do on my social media pages is knowing that I can do something in any small way to help make a difference. So, and that drives me to be very interactive with my fans. So, yeah, lots of tough questions. And like I said, the scarier they are means the more important those questions are.
Thank you. So thank you, Karen. I've had a great time. Um, I hope you as well. I've tried to, focus on who you are as a person and not as an actress. I love the actress, and I could have asked so many more questions about you as an actress, but you know, I I like for my audience to see you as who you are, and just for themselves to say, oh my god, yeah, she's famous, but yeah, she's actually like us.
Yes.
uh
Well, I hope so. Yes, and thank you. It's so nice to be asked questions, other than work. I mean, work, of course, that's wonderful too. But
yeah.
I think, if anyone met my mum and met my dad, they'd understand perhaps why I am the way I am. My parents still have this power to keep me in line and keep me in check. And that's one thing I love about them. And I'm really grateful for the people I have in my life. I have a lot of good, next level good human beings in my life who challenge me to be a better human, who challenge me to ask those important questions, who challenge me to be the best version of myself. And I'm so grateful to have those good people because they will always tell me if I make a mistake or if I'm wrong, or they will always tell me if I need to improve on something or if I need to learn more about something. They're not yes, 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 yes people, you know.
Yeah.
They're fair people, and they're good humans. And that's what I would say to each and every one of your listeners too, is that surround yourself with good human beings who love you, who respect you, and who will help you, you know, and will keep things real. And because that's only going to help you grow and thrive and be the best versions of yourselves too. And those are the kinds of people that you want. And that success is the company you keep. Um, and your health is wealth, as my mom says. Health is wealth. Make time to look after yourselves now and every day, because if you don't do that, then later on you're going to be forced to. So look after yourselves, and that includes looking after your heart, your mind, your mental well being. You know, the brain is such a powerful, powerful mechanism. And if we keep our brains happy and healthy, then our whole bodies will work and, you know, be happy too.
This is very inspiring. Inspiring. Actually, you are very humble. You're a very humble person.
Well, you met my mom, especially my mom and my dad, then you know. And like I said, right? My mom's always told me this. You know, she said, the queen is the queen. We love the queen, but she's human too. And every one of us, you know, it doesn't matter if we're like an astronaut or if we're like a Nobel Peace Prize winning person or a famous actor or whoever. She said, we all have to eat and sleep and poop the same. So that's my parents for you. So, and yeah, no, I'm grateful for them. And I'm grateful that I have, you know, my husband who is just, you know, he's just a big support for me and
Is he
reflect.
cooking?
He's cooking.
Ah, yeah. Since the beginning, I heard him.
My husband is a phenomenal cook and he loves to cook. I'm so lucky. Dangerous for the waistline at times, but I haven't cooked in like 11 years since I met my husband. He's such a wonderful cook and but most importantly, you know, he's so supportive about what I do and you know, what more can you ask for in a partner in life, you know? Or a best friend is to have someone that witnesses your journey, that cheers you on, and wants your dreams to come true. So I'm very blessed that way too. And then my dog, of course, everyone knows I post so much about my dog. He's my teddy bear. I have a real life teddy bear who I can cuddle throughout this pandemic, so that helps with my sanity as well.
All right. So thank you. I will send you the link on Instagram or Twitter, wherever you want. And I'm wishing you all the best and bon appétit.
Oh, merci beaucoup. Thank you so much. I've had so much fun, love. And yeah, speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching us. I hope you had a great time. Please tell me if you like it or if you didn't like it and why you like it or didn't like it. And if you want to see more of my interviews, subscribe to my channel, follow me on social media, and yeah, I hope we get to talk soon. Thank you so much. Bye.